Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Paul Cicchini. Maria Chandler has the night off. A monumental decision demands an equal playing field for all internet users, and that includes you. WMBD's Eugene Daniel joins us in studio. So, Eugene, how does this impact the average person?
Well, Paul, today's decision allows the government to regulate use of broadband internet and make sure you don't have to pay more to keep up with the big companies. Quality internet services just got a little more accessible thanks to a decision by the FCC on Thursday on what is called net neutrality.
It just basically means, as a consumer of the internet, you know, that your provider cannot say that one service can get to you faster than another, or one web page can get you faster than another.
And it keeps internet providers from charging you more for quality access.
You've got this video content.
Levi Dinkla of ITV3 in East Peoria says some companies could not meet growing demands for the web, but didn't want to invest in a solution.
So their answer, instead of investing in infrastructure and making it so they had the capacity, was to start slowing some services down and speeding up others.
And so began a pay-to-play type scenario. But now all lanes in this highway called the internet are open to anyone.
Our role is to maintain that highway, but not to assign specific speed lines within that highway for individual companies. This allows for small businesses, medium-sized businesses, individuals who just want to get the word out about their point of view.
The ruling also affects other goods such as cable, and by banning companies from paying for faster service, supporters of the ruling say it keeps content from having an unfair advantage. But not everyone agrees with it. Several companies are expected to challenge the decision in court. Paul?
Thanks, Eugene. Groups providing autism support across the state say thousands of kids younger than 6 years old could lose access to many resources. Easter Seals, a nonprofit, says Governor Rauner's new proposal calls for cutting all state grant funding for programs in the Department of Human Services. That means reducing many of the autism support services Easter Seals offers to kids and their families all across the state. Easter Seals would lose about $175,000 in funding, and workers aren't happy, of course, saying it's a step in the wrong direction.
We've made such great strides in the state related to serving kids and families with autism with this money. But without it, we're back 9 years and we're starting all over again.
The funding cut also affects programs that help people with developmental disabilities. Frustration continues for medical marijuana dispensaries. It claims the state failed to follow license requirements on who gets to grow and sell the drug. Some applicants argue they did not get a fair evaluation, claiming background checks and scoring procedures were not followed properly. Governor Rauner agreed that the evaluation process started by former Governor Quinn was flawed. His office says it will cooperate with any court review. Prison costs the state of Illinois more than $1 billion each year. That's more than $20,000 per inmate. 7 out of 10 of those inmates in Illinois, nonviolent, and many of them repeat offenders. But as WMBD's Matt Porter explains, there's a new local program helping those people stay out of prison for good.
When I came home, all I knew was to resort back to what I was doing, and which was the hustling. And like I said, lo and behold, I ended up getting caught, and it was the best thing that ever happened.
This is the corner Malcolm Jackson got caught for selling marijuana. How many times had you been caught and put in jail?
Oh yes, I've been back and forth to the penitentiary and even juvie, like pretty much all my life.
But this arrest would be his last.
Possibly some one-on-one appointments or
that's thanks to probation officers like Clint Walters. Walters works with the Adult Redeploy program, which steers people out of jail into a different option.
we try to look and see what it is that this individual would need, and then if we have those resources to wrap around that person.
In lieu of jail time, members participate in mentoring, education, and counseling sessions, among other programs. It's designed to keep people out of prison for good.
Just telling somebody not to do something isn't going to make them change.
In the first few years, the program has stopped more than 2,000 from going to jail, saving taxpayers almost $50 million.
When you send them to prison, they simply just cycle in and cycle out at great cost to taxpayers.
Jackson said his previous probations didn't work.
I would use the phone, talk to the probation officer. Oh, you okay? You staying out of trouble? Yeah, yeah, I am. Okay, cool. Click. And that was it.
Now he's part of the future as a mentor.
I used to run from places like this, and now I can walk through that door as a peer.
At 40 years old, he hopes he can help the next generation earlier than he was.
you can get a job. You can have a life.
From Springfield, Matt Porter, WMBD 31 News.
34 counties in Illinois, including Peoria and McLean, are involved with Adult Redeploy. Many are urging the state to fund an expansion into the program, including Governor Rauner. A woman in Tazewell County accused of starving her 2 dogs to death, pleading not guilty. Regina Robards of Pekin entered the plea in court this afternoon. The dogs were found in November in her former home. She faces 4 counts of aggravated animal cruelty after authorities say she intentionally neglected the pets. Robards heads back to court at the end of March. The parents of a teenager found dead on a farm is looking to honor her memory. It's been more than a week since 14-year-old Kaylee Easton was found dead in rural Hayworth. Now her parents have started Kaylee Rain Ministries in her memory. The ministry is looking for the lost, broken, and hurting. Friends and family have raised nearly $19,000 for the cause. To find out how you can donate, you can visit our website, ciproud.com. Roads are pretty clear now. Earlier today, different story. Local towing company Mr. Towitz says on days like today, his business jumps nearly 75%.
While we're doing our job, we need all the room we can get. Roads are icy conditions, and you got to remember, if the roads are slick, you could slide into us, run us over. We all want to make it home to our loved ones just like you want to.
Now, just this morning, Mr. Towitz pulled 30 vehicles from ditches or snow banks. If you do have to call a tow truck, Stanton says, be patient. His crews are facing the same conditions as you are, so it might take some time to get to that scene. He recommends packing an emergency kit in your car just in case. So we saw some snow yesterday. Today, though, we're tracking the cold. Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey joining us again. So, Marcus, how cold are we talking?
We're going to be talking pretty cold again. Sub-zero temperatures, wind chills well below zero, Paul. And that fresh blanket of snow that you mentioned that brought some problems this morning is not going to help matter. It's going to yank those temperatures down even more. 6 inches of snow on the ground in Galesburg. That was the highest amount. 4 inches in Normal, and in Peoria and Morton, Peoria metro area, around 2.5 inches of fresh snow around the area. Again, not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Wind chill advisory in effect until 10 o'clock in the morning for most of our viewing area. The numbers for everybody. Air temperatures will get well below zero. I think around 2, 3, maybe as cold as 4 below by the time you're heading out the door tomorrow morning. More importantly, look at the wind chill readings, getting anywhere between 12 to 13 below here in the city. But I think some of the areas that have higher snowpacks could get as cold as 15 to 25 degrees below zero with those wind chills. So it is going to be a tough start, and it sticks around for at least a couple of mornings. In fact, we could break some records by Saturday morning with the cold. And of course, we are tracking another snowmaker as we head into the weekend. I'll have the latest in my full forecast that's straight ahead in a few minutes. Paul?
Thanks, Marcus. Speaking of that cold, hypothermia kills about 700 homeless individuals each year. That's according to the National Health Care for the Homeless Council. So when it gets this cold, the Twin Cities homeless community leans on each other in their own tent city. WMBD's Rachel Kay went to Bloomington today to see what kind of help they need to weather this winter.
When most of us go home at night, it's to a warm house or an apartment. But for many of the Twin Cities homeless, this is home. It's called Tent City and has about 14 to 15 residents.
It's gotten a lot bigger over the winter time than we have seen in the past couple of winters.
Lori Kimbrough, the homeless services supervisor with the PATH Crisis Center, says it's an issue of affordable housing. Most of the residents don't have any other good options.
While the Tent City is not really sanctioned by the police department or by the city really, we are all kind of aware that it is out there. And so unless we have need to forcibly remove them, we don't do that.
Tent City is set up on private land, but one homeless man we talked to said the owner allows them to stay as long as they keep the space clean.
If you'd have told me at 60 years old I'd be living out in a tent, I'd have said you're crazy. This propane tank.
Gary Hintz is relatively new to Tent City, but he says it's like a family.
If one person is out of heat, the other people will say, come on into my tent, you know, because we're not going to let anybody succumb to the elements out here.
With 2 college degrees, Hintz never thought he'd find himself living in a tent. And most of the guys we talked to were educated and up on current events.
I mean, tonight's supposed to get down to what, -5?
Hintz is on the waiting list for affordable housing, but says he has up to 9 more months to go. It's thanks to the community that he's getting by. Residents here say the thing they need most to get through the cold winter is more propane. If you want to help, you can bring donations to PATH. In Bloomington, Rachel Kay, WMBD 31 News.
The numbers show Bloomington Normal's homeless population is growing. There are about 240 people without a home this winter. Cold temperatures didn't stop those fighting for child care funds. The call for change at the Capitol is still ahead. But first, Marcus?
Brutally cold temperatures here for the next couple of nights, so it's going to be a rough start to work and school tomorrow morning. Paul, wind chill advisory is already in effect for most of you. And we will be tracking another snowmaker as we head into the weekend. And this one could have a little more pop than this last one we just had. The latest, my full forecast, that's coming up.
You're watching WMBD 31 News at 10 with Paul Cicchini, Maria Chandler, Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey with your local weather authority forecast, and Kurt Pegler with sports. This is WMBD 31 News at 10. The Extra Effort Award brought to you by Pods, moving and storage solved.
How does Pods help remove the stress from storage? We deliver a container. You fill it up with things you're keeping for later and forever. Whenever you're ready, just call us. We'll drive your locked container to one of our secure storage centers. Pods.
It's a 450-year story that's never been told. This is Journey, 450 years of the African American experience.
Brought to you by Jackson Hewitt and Pride Staff.
Come on, let me use the time machine. Prom was a disaster. I can make things right.
Sorry, it's been raining for a week.
Missed my chance to spray the weeds. You're gonna use the time machine for that? Just get rid of the weeds with Sure Start herbicide. You can get more time with Sure Start.
Get more time and control heavy weed pressure with Sure Start 2 herbicide.
Many times we'll go on the internet and we'll expect to get no service and one price, or to go into a store and get exceptional service and another price. Well, we don't think you should pay any extra at all. You've worked with our experts, you've picked something out. Don't be embarrassed about asking to price shop. I mean, it's time, right? We know this is the one. Let's get the iPad out, let's shop, make sure we've got the best deal here. Yeah, maybe we make a little bit less on that particular sale, but that way it's convenient for you to just come in and buy everything you need from us. It works out in the long run for both of us.
Pontiac RV's annual preseason RV sale is February 27th through March 1st, with over 300 RVs in stock and on sale, including new Winnebago motorhomes. Check out new 2015 models, plus a few 2014 leftovers at huge discounts. See over 25 brands from Coachman, Keystone, Forest River, and Tiffin Motorhomes, and more, all at RV show prices during the preseason RV sale at Pontiac RV on I-55.
Everything under the sun, Pontiac RV.
Your local weather authority, WMBD 31 Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
It is a cold night across central Illinois, and we're going to continue to stay very chilly as we roll through the next couple of days and into the weekend. And it's going to be a pretty active pattern as well. Live look at our KBL Design Center camera. Numbers are cold. 5 right now in Peoria. The winds are out of the northwest at 6. We're coming off a high of 23 today. Storm tracker is quiet across the area. We had a few flurries that were rolling through during the afternoon and evening, taking with it the cloud cover that is now sagging down to the south. We should be pretty quiet and clear for the overnight tonight. There's not much out to the west or northwest. So I think we're going to be pretty much cloud free. And that will carry over into your Friday, so a lot of sunshine is on the way. But again, short term, what the problem is going to be is the brutally cold air. Wind chill advisory in effect until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The winds are not going to be real strong, but it doesn't take much when your temperatures slip below 0 to make it feel actually worse. 10 below is where I think you're going to bottom out in Galesburg. Right now, 6 below in Lakin for an overnight low, 4 below in Pontiac, 3 below in Bloomington. I think we sit around 4 below in Peoria. But again, the wind chills, and this is just here in the city, probably falling around 12, 13 degrees below 0 when you're heading out the door tomorrow morning. For those of you that picked up a little bit more snow, so out towards Galesburg, maybe over towards the Twin Cities, 15 to 25 degrees below 0, not out of the question. So it is going to be a rough start tomorrow. Not going to get a lot of recovery during the day tomorrow. We'll stay into the teens. Got you around 13 around noon. 15 tomorrow afternoon around 4 o'clock, but note that we will see a good deal of sunshine. So it's going to be a pretty looking day. Another big blast of cold air continuing for tomorrow, and so I think we may actually set a record. The record for tonight heading into tomorrow morning is probably too far off, around 12 or 13 degrees below 0. But Saturday morning, different story. The record right now sits at 2 below for Saturday morning, set back in 1962. I've got us around 4 below, so it's going to be very similar to what we have tonight. If we hold that number, that will be a new record. Again, just rare air coming in for the end of February. 21 is what we'll top out on Saturday. We do warm up a bit on Sunday at 32, but it's going to be a transition type of Saturday to Sunday where more snow is going to be on the way, and some of that could be accumulating. So we're going to track the journey of this system pushing through the Midwest as we head into Sunday morning. That's at 8 o'clock. Models have been pretty consistent. This is going to be all snow for us. The freezing line is going to stay well south, and it's going to be pretty steady Saturday night into Sunday. Right now, I'm going to go with a broad brush, around 3 to 6 inches of snowfall accumulation. Over the next couple of days, we'll fine-tune this and kind of pinpoint who we'll see a little bit more as we get more data coming in. But it does certainly look like it's going to be a bit messy to wrap up your weekend. Here are the numbers. 32 on Sunday, as I mentioned, around 30 then on Monday. We actually warm up to around 40 degrees on Tuesday. That comes with a chance of rain, maybe mixing with some snow late, but it does certainly look like it's going to be more of a rain event. And then much of next week, low to mid-20s. Paul, normal highs for this time of year should be around mid-40s, so we're going to be way, way off. Doesn't look like the snow is going anywhere anytime soon either. So.
That's not so much fun. I don't really care for that. My trick, you said it's going to be sunny.
Yeah.
You park the car where the sun will shine on it before you get into it.
Then
So the car is a
that's
little
right.
bit warmer when you get inside. It's still going to be cold.
Yeah, that's a good tip right there.
But it's better.
I like that.
Could be worse. All right, thanks, Marcus.
You bet.
WMBD and our sister station Fox 43 WYZZ are recognizing Black History Month with a special. Journey, 450 Years of the African American Experience, airs this Saturday at 7 on WMBD. You can learn more about when and where you can see that special by visiting our website, ciproud.com. A Twin Cities school district eyeing a new way to combat bullying. Now they're planning to make sure their students are safe from harm.
What you get out of a field depends on what you put in it, especially when it comes to nitrogen. That's why Climate Pro lets you easily track the nitrogen in every field. Learn how Climate Pro can help achieve your yield targets and more. Contact your dealer.
In the Midwest for 2015, Ford is unleashing the all-new 435 horsepower Mustang. Releasing the quick and nimble Focus with a new EcoBoost engine. Revealing the all-new technologically advanced Ford Edge. And breaking ground with the all-new high-strength aluminum F-150. No wonder Ford is the brand more people search, buy, and buy again. Now get a Fusion with 0 for 60 plus 1,000 auto show bonus cash and a no-charge maintenance plan. Or lease for only $179 a month.
UFS, famous for deals on Adams Street, downtown Peoria. 10 minutes from anywhere.
Ooh, I can hear that sizzle getting louder and louder. Philly cheesesteak and egg sizzling with prime rib and gooey cheese. I better just silence this sizzle.
The new Philly cheesesteak and egg skillet. Denny's, welcome to America's Diner.
Have you ever heard the term upside down? Well, when you go to trade in your used car, you don't want to hear that. At Green Chevrolet, we have a way for you to prevent that through leasing.
Now, you can take your average tax refund and get a Cruise for just $169 a month, or a new Malibu for just $239 a month, plus you still get the Green's goods, the $995 oil changes, and so much more.
We have a 2015 Silverado with the All-Star package. You can lease it for $399 a month. You gotta go green.
Don't miss the official Spring Home Show. Come see an amazing outdoor living space created by the Dream Team. Only this weekend at the Peoria Civic Center.
You can't fix what you can't see, and you can't be everywhere at once. That's why Climate Pro helps you prioritize scouting locations no matter where you are. Learn how Climate Pro can help you monitor field health and more. Contact your dealer.
WMBD News is brought to you by Carpet Weavers.
HGTV Home Flooring by Shaw makes it easy to bring your idea of the perfect floor to life. HGTV Home Flooring by Shaw. Find your perfect floor now at Carpet Weavers and save on all HGTV carpet, hardwood, laminate, and area rugs, all on sale. Plus, get interest-free financing for 1 full year. You'll love your new HGTV Flooring by Shaw. Come home to Carpet Weavers.
Taking action for you. This is WMBD 31 News at 10.
Advocates for the child care program back at the Capitol, hundreds rallying from East St. Louis and Chicago, coming to voice their concerns about the funding for the child care assistance program. Now, it ran out of money at the beginning of the year. Low-income working parents who cannot afford child care say they need this assistance program so they can continue to go to work and provide for their families. And so far, the child care assistance program is $300 million in the red. District 87 is discussing a new anti-bullying policy. Our news partner, WJBC, reports the superintendent brought up the issue of cyberbullying at last night's board meeting. Now, plans could include an anonymous anti-bullying hotline. This is in response to new laws from the Illinois State Board of Education. Those take effect April 15th. Now, the hope is the policy change will allow school officials to act on things like Facebook posts made outside of school hours, and if they have the potential to impact the students in the classroom. Tonight's Extra Effort winner is making a fundraising splash for a family member. Kurt has the story next in sports, but first, here's a look at the day on Wall Street.